Hello dear students, welcome to this program. Today I am going to talk about cancer chemotherapy. Before discussing cancer chemotherapy in detail, let's first know its objectives. Number 1, to understand what is cancer and cancer chemotherapy. Number 2, what is the classification of drugs in cancer chemotherapy. Number 3, to know the general principles in cancer chemotherapy. Number 4, what are the common toxicities of chemotherapy? And number 5, various side effects of chemotherapy. Let's begin with cancer and cancer chemotherapy. A normal cell undergoes regulated division, differentiation and apoptosis, programmed cell death, when normal cells have lost the usual control over their division, differentiation and apoptosis, they become tumor cells. So, a tumor is the result of an abnormal proliferation of cells without differentiation and apoptosis. Chemotherapy is the use of medicines or drugs to treat a disease such as cancer. Many times this treatment is just called chemo. Surgery and radiation therapy remove, kill or damage cancer cells in a certain area, but chemo can work throughout the whole body. More than 100 chemo drugs are used in many combinations. A single chemo drug can be used to treat cancer, but often multiple drugs are used in a certain order or in certain combinations called combination chemotherapy. When chemo is given after surgery to kill any cancer cells that may still be present, it's called adjuvant therapy. When chemo is used to shrink a tumor before surgery or radiation therapy, it's called neoadjuvant therapy. Dear students, the different uses of chemotherapy are, depending on individual factors such as the type of cancer, where it is and the person's age and general health, chemotherapy may be used as the only form of treatment. It may be used together with radiotherapy. It may be used before surgery to shrink the tumor, and it may be used after surgery to kill off any remaining cancer cells. The major aims of chemotherapy are to cure the cancer or increase the chance of cure, to reduce symptoms and improve quality of life, and to improve survival. The goal of chemo, depending on the type of cancer, its stage, how far it has spread, and where you are in the treatment process, chemo can be used to cure the cancer, to keep the cancer from spreading, to slow the cancer's growth, to kill cancer cells that may have spread to other parts of the body, to relieve symptoms caused by cancer. Now, dear students, let's talk about the classification of drugs in cancer chemotherapy. On the basis of source and action mechanisms, the drugs in the cancer chemotherapy are classified as: number 1, alkylating agents; number 2, antimetabolites; number 3, natural products; number 4, hormones and antagonists; number 5, miscellaneous agents. Let's discuss them in detail. Alkylating agents. Examples are micloriptamine. That's the first drug used in the treatment of cancer. At present, it's mainly used for Hodgkin's disease and non-Hodgkin's lymphomas. Another example is cyclophosphamide. Most widely used in clinical therapy for treatment of cancer at present. It has no anti-neoplastic action outside the body and must be activated in the liver. Number second, antimetabolites. Examples of antimetabolites include folic acid antagonists, for example, methotrexate, antipyrimidines, for example, 5-fluorouracil, cytarabine, antipurines, for example, 6-mercaptopurine. Number one example, methotrexate. Let's discuss it in detail. Mimics folic acid, which is needed for synthesis of DNA, RNA, and some amino acids. It acts mainly on the S phase of cells. It has a serious myelosuppression. Another example, 6-mercaptopurine, a structural analog to hypoxanthine. It must be converted intracellularly to the nucleotide 6-mercaptopurine ribose phosphate and 6-methylmercaptopurine ribonucleotide, and then inhibit purine biosynthesis, causing inhibition of biosynthesis of nucleic acids. Another example, 5-fluorouracil, 5-FU, a fluorine-substituted analog of uracil, must be metabolically activated to a nucleotide, in this case FDUMP. Then its metabolite inhibits the synthetase of deoxythymidine monophosphate, blocking DNA synthesis. Besides, as the fraudulent substance, its metabolite can also interfere the synthesis of RNA. And it is a phase-specific drug. Number third, natural products. It includes antibiotics, Vinca alkaloids, biologic response modifiers, enzymes, epipodophytotoxins, toxins, and antibiotic anti-neoplastic agents. And it also includes damaged DNA in cycling and non-cycling cells. Example is dactinomycin, actinomycin D, and Vinca plant alkaloids. Number 4, hormones and antagonists. Examples are adrenocortical steroids to inhibit the growth of cancers of lymphoid tissue and blood, oestrogen antagonists. Tamoxifen is indicated for breast cancer. Oestrogen is used for prostate cancers. Number 5 is miscellaneous agents. It includes hydroxyurea. Now, dear students, what are the general principles in cancer chemotherapy? In a tumor, only the cells which have the capacity to indefinitely reproduce themselves, stem cells, are dangerous. These are the cells that we intend to kill. The other cells, those which multiply themselves but cannot reproduce more than a few generations, and those which are very well differentiated and cannot divide, will eventually die naturally without chemotherapy. We do not process genuinely specific drugs for cancer cells. Each drug that we use is more or less toxic for normal cells. Most of the drugs, at least in classical chemotherapy, will kill the cancer cells when they are dividing by altering the delicate mechanisms of cell division. Slowly developing tumors are therefore less concerned. Conversely, highly proliferating healthy tissue like blood cell lineages, mucosa cells, skin are particularly concerned and should regenerate in order to maintain the patient alive. All our drugs have a more or less marked hematological toxicity and most often other forms of chronic toxicity. What are the common toxicities of chemotherapy? Drug toxicity, along with drug resistance, remains one of the most significant barriers to the delivery of curative doses of cancer chemotherapy. The most common toxicities of individual chemotherapeutic agents include several toxicities. For example, those affecting the heart, kidneys, liver, and lungs are frequently encountered. These common toxicities are discussed as under. Number 1, cardiotoxicity. Number 2, nephrotoxicity. Number 3, hepatotoxicity. Number 4, pulmonary toxicity. Number 5, dermatologic toxicity. And number 6, gastrointestinal toxicity. Number 1, cardiotoxicity. Chemotherapeutic agents may cause direct injury to the heart, either acutely in the form of myocardial tissue injury or in a delayed or chronic fashion associated with congestive heart failure. The agents which are frequently associated with cardiac toxicity, along with the doses at which toxicity is commonly encountered, are anthracyclines with acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, and late toxicity. Number 2, nephrotoxicity and hemorrhagic cystitis. Drugs producing urinary tract toxicity are in general the agents causing toxic injury to the kidney, which in turn produce injury to the renal tubules. For example, cisplatin, amifostine, is indicated to reduce the cumulative renal toxicity associated with repeated administration of cisplatin. Cyclophosphamide and ifosfamide, cyclophosphamide, cytosine, neosar, and ifosfamide effects are associated with hemorrhagic cystitis in approximately 10% of patients being treated with standard doses. Number 3, hepatotoxicity. The liver is the site of metabolism of most chemotherapeutic agents, and many agents are directly hepatotoxic. Hepatotoxicity can be acute or chronic and is most often manifested as an elevation of transaminases. Number 4, pulmonary toxicity. Agents that commonly result in pulmonary toxicity are bleomycin. Notable among these agents is bleomycin, bilinosine, which produces severe pulmonary fibrosis. Bleomycin concentrates in the lung and skin because of negligible hydrolase for bleomycin inactivation in these organs. Therefore, bleomycin has a direct effect on the pulmonary capillary, endothelium, and type 1 nematocytes. Number 5, dermatologic toxicity. Skin changes associated with chemotherapy drugs can have a wide variety of manifestations, including rashes, dermatitis, hyperpigmentation, urticaria, photosensitivity, nail changes, alopecia, and radiation recall. Some of the commonly associated dermatologic toxicities associated with selected drugs are: number 1, hand-foot syndrome or Palmer-Plantar erythrodysesthesia. Number 2, rashes. Number 3, photosensitivity. Number 4, nail changes. Number 5, skin hyperpigmentation. Number 6, radiation recall. Gastrointestinal toxicity. It includes chemotherapy-induced stomatitis. Agents that are commonly associated with stomatitis include bleomycin, doxorubicin, 5-FU, and methotrexate. The dose and schedule of these drugs influence the severity of toxicity. Continuous infusions of 5-FU and doxorubicin can cause severe stomatitis. Therefore, at the earliest signs of mouth soreness, infusions of these drugs should be discontinued. Chemotherapy induces diarrhea. Diarrhea occurs quite frequently during chemotherapy and can stem from a number of causes. Certain chemotherapeutic agents frequently cause diarrhea. These include the cell cycle specific agents 5-FU, methotrexate, Ara-C, and irinotecan. Now, dear students, what are the various side effects of chemotherapy? Most people worry about whether they will have side effects from chemo, and if so, what they will be like. Here are some of the common side effects caused by chemotherapy. Fatigue from chemo. Fatigue is one of the most common side effects of cancer treatment. It can range from mild tiredness to feeling completely wiped out. Like most other side effects, it usually goes away over time after chemo ends. Next is hair loss from chemo. Hair loss can be distressing, but not all chemo drugs will make you lose your hair. Some people have mild thinning that only they notice. You can lose hair on all parts of the body, not just your scalp, eyelashes and eyebrows, arm and leg hair, and pubic hair all may be affected. Next side effect is increased chance of bruising, bleeding, infection, and anemia after chemo. Chemo often causes decrease in the blood cell counts. Blood cells are made in the bone marrow. Three important parts of the blood affected by chemo are: number 1, platelets; number 2, white blood cells; number 3, red blood cells. Bleeding or clotting problems. Platelets are the blood cells that help stop bleeding by plugging up damaged blood vessels and helping your blood to clot. If you don't have enough platelets, you may bleed or bruise more easily than usual, even from a minor injury. A shortage of platelets is called thrombocytopenia. The signs of thrombocytopenia are unexpected bruising, small flat red spots under your skin, red or pink urine, any bleeding from your gums or nose, bad headaches, dizziness, pain in joints and muscles, infection. A low white blood cell count decreases your ability to fight infections. One type of white blood cell, called the neutrophils, especially important in fighting infections. A shortage of neutrophils is called neutropenia. Infections can begin in almost any part of the body and most often start in the mouth, skin, lungs, urinary tract, and rectum. Dear students, we have some of the preventions. Wash your hands often during the day, especially before you eat and after you use the bathroom. Stay away from crowds. Stay away from people who have diseases you can catch, such as colds, flu, measles, or chickenpox. Do not get any immunization shots, vaccines, without first checking with the cancer doctor, etc. and etc. Anemia. Anemia is when you have too few red blood cells and your body tissues don't get enough oxygen to do their work. You may have these symptoms: extreme tiredness, fatigue, dizziness, pale skin, a tendency to feel cold, shortness of breath, weakness, racing heart, nausea and vomiting. Nausea and vomiting are two of the most dreaded side effects of chemo. Nausea and vomiting may start during treatment and last a few hours. Sometimes, but less often, severe nausea and vomiting can last for a few days. Other chemo side effects are appetite changes, constipation, diarrhea, mouth, gum, tongue and throat problems, nerve and muscle problems, skin and nail changes, and weight gain. Dear students, it's all about this topic. Thank you.